Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. On this particular one, I want to focus on Operator. I want to move a little bit away from editing drum breaks because I've done a few videos on that. But on this particular one, what I want to focus on is using Operator in order to create bass sounds. And I'm going to be showing you three separate techniques that are kind of hidden and they're extremely powerful. This is not a beginner's video. If you are new to Operator and if you are new to synthesis, then I would suggest you to watch one of my previous videos when I'm talking about Operator and the basics of FM synthesis, and then take it from there and then maybe return to this video afterwards. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you an example of three hidden techniques that are extremely powerful about Operator. So I'm just gonna quickly show you three types of bass sounds. One of them is more like a reese, like this one here. This one here is got like some interesting sort of like movement to it. And there's another one here which is got some wobble. One thing that we can do, as you can see on this preset, is you can actually create a reese sound if you use parallel processing. Parallel processing is this particular algorithm here at the end, and parallel processing allows us to actually have operators that they don't affect each other, and you can actually detune, right? Needless to say, you can even use the spread function in Operator in order to give the sounds a little bit of thickness. But because we're working with Operator, we can actually create some really interesting reese type sounds. Open a new instance of Operator. I'm actually going to use the same note I've got here, so it's easy. So that's a bass note. If you're not using headphones, you're not going to be able to hear it. Okay, there you go. So that's your bass. And then what we can do is we can go over to these operators and we can set the different configuration here. We can just go into parallel processing, which is really cool. So all of them have got their individual output. And then what we can do here is we can go into the first one and then we can manipulate the envelope a little bit and be like, okay, cool, let's just make sure that it's flat. Wicked, so it's all the way up, right? So sustains. One thing that's really nice as well is that we can add partials and harmonics. Generally, I start by adding 16 harmonics. That's just like, it's good for bass sounds. I listen to the sounds once and start adding extra harmonics. With this, it's like, it's exploratory. You just add them as you see fit, and you can also see the waveform that generates here. Anything that sounds kind of a square or triangle is going to sound really good for bass sounds, right? So let's explore that. That's quite nice. Potentially could take that away. Let me turn it down a little bit because it's clipping. All right. There you go, right? And you can even add more harmonics like that, right? So that sounds nice. It's kind of like a triangle wave. And this is one little thing that you can do. You can save this, okay? So remember that you can export the waveform that you create, right? And then you can always import them back into Operator. Like if I got something else here, I can just import that waveform or this waveform. So actually Operator is insanely powerful because we can actually create our own wave shapes, so to speak, just by adding additive and then export it and then use it later on, right? So that's really cool. So if you find something that works for you once, save it, then use it again and again and again. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to literally copy this oscillator to all others just by right-clicking where it says fixed. Do that very quickly, and you can see that now we are basically using like unison. So it's 4 operators running at the same time, but obviously we're not really hearing the unison because they're all perfectly in sync, right? They all got the exact same frequency, right? So what I can do here is I can go over to the fine-tuning and just adjust them. That's nice, right? Another thing that is worth doing is playing around with the spread function. But you can see, like, because all the oscillators are starting exactly at the same time when you use the spread, sounds kind of funny. Almost sounds like it's more to one side than the other, which is a bit annoying. So the way to overcome this issue is by going on to one of the oscillators and just go towards its face and just turn that off. And that basically means that the oscillators are constantly running in the background, and every time you hit the key, they don't re-trigger from the beginning. So it kind of like makes it sound a little bit more smeary, but at the same time it's much better for reese bass. Look. Nice. And this should be mono compatible as well. If you add a utility, you can make it mono. So that's one thing that we can do. So let's hear that. well. So the other technique I wanted to quickly show you is the fact that you can have evolving kind of sounds. Like if we have a look at this operator, you can see that if we have a look at the envelopes themselves, you can see that each one of the envelopes have got different settings. So this one here comes in gradually and then it dies away. This one here takes a lot longer to come in, sustains, and then this one here, literally, it doesn't start. The attack is like all the way down, right? The initial here, that allows me to actually flatten the beginning of the sound, and then eventually comes in after like 1.61 seconds gradually, and it takes over, right? So we can create some interesting movement just by playing around with that. And the algorithm I'm using here is the T-shape algorithm that allows me to have that sort of flexibility, so I can have different stages onto the sound. Starting with one operator, it's always easier to synthesize things when you've got a sound already, that, you know, when you've got a melody or something that you can work with. And what I'm going to do is change the algorithm to the T-shape algorithm, and then on these ones, I'm going to make sure that the envelope I'm controlling, let's make that 2 so it sounds more like a square. And then this one, maybe I want to create something that comes in gradual and it goes down like that. So that's nice. That gives it like a kind of like a wobble sound, right? You can detune it as well if you want to get some interesting movement. In all fairness, detuning is subtle is best. And then I'm going to get another one. Remember that they're running in parallel. This one here, I'm just going to explore. And maybe I'm going to go like to 1. And this one here is maybe going to give me a little bit of plug. You see? And maybe I can do it in like 2 stages. So this one goes. You see? So if we turn off B, this is just adding that kind of plug. Let's make it a little bit higher. Yeah, maybe too high. Maybe let's make it a little bit longer in the decay. Right, and maybe softer level. Yeah, that's nice. And then if I'm blending them together, I'm getting like the plug from one and the whoop from the other one. Right, maybe let's bring the detuning all the way down. Nice. And then potentially I can have another one that takes a lot longer to come in. Maybe this could be much higher in pitch, and maybe like the level could be quite quiet. Maybe let's go a little bit lower. Nice. Let's decrease it. Let's increase the attack. Well, let's maybe go a little bit lower instead. Let's maybe add some harmonics as well to this. So let's go into 16. Or maybe even lower. Let's go into like 0.5. There. Nice. So you got this movement within the sound, right? Let's hear it. Let's get some reverb. Nice. And then the other possibility as well, so this is one thing, the envelopes can make a massive, huge difference to the sound, but then the other one as well is actually using the operator and actually using the envelopes as an LFO. And let's just explore that for a minute. And this is something that is, to me, is absolutely amazing. The fact that you can go here, you can go to the envelopes, you can have a tone plane, which is this one here. So let's hear it. Let's press play. All right. So again, headphones, or you won't be hearing this. And what I can do here is I can say, okay, well, maybe let's get a modulator on top. And let's bring the level all the way up for the sustain. And let's bring 2. Nice. And let's get some harmonics so it sounds a little bit more abstract. So I'm just going to go into 16 harmonics. Maybe not so much. And then let's lower the level so it doesn't kill the bass. There. Nice. And now what we can do is we can go over to the envelope and then we can say, okay, cool. So let's try looping the envelope. And you can loop it by sync. So you can loop it in 16s, for example. So it's going to be more like this. right? So it loops between the attack and decay stages, which is really nice. And then you can potentially increase the attack so it sounds more like this. But the problem I have with that is that the speed is too fast. I can slow it down. There you go, that's more like it, isn't it? And there's another thing, because if we got movement on this operator, remember this is the first algorithm here, then anything I do with C is going to affect B, so it's going to add more complexity. Let's try that. And maybe let's just add a little bit of attack. Nice. There you go, right? So you get the idea. And I mean, this is on 1/6, and potentially you can even set this to loop, and it's in milliseconds now. So you can, I normally set the time to nothing, and then I just play with the decay here. And if I wanted to automate that decay, I can even set like a, I don't know, if I want to change that speed, okay, of the entire envelope, I can go to the time here, look. But you get the idea. Anyway guys, so I wanted to do something a little bit different on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's more to learn about Operator, and I think Operator is absolutely insane for bass sounds. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, and the usual. If you like as well, subscribe to the channel so you can keep track of new videos I will be uploading very soon, and leave us a comment to let us know what you thought of the video. And if you want to learn about music production with myself, have a look at the description. Yeah, I've got a course as well on sound design if you're liking this, and I also have my own preset pack for Ableton, so have a look at the links below. All right, so take it easy guys, and see you on the next one.